this is a perfect transition. With the ready button, me and my girlfriend could walk to the gym, ready it, and walk away, and the raid would be over before we were even out of range of the gym.
But that's if you have somebody with you.
Yes, that's why I said that.
I had to hope that somebody would join and that they would have the presence of mind to ready immediately. And to those of you that did that, thank you. To the couple in the car that were kind of also tailing me for Gumi in person, who refused every time to ready up. Who were you waiting for? And why do they never show up? I'm so mad.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
See you next year, GoFest season.
September's Community Day Classic is looking very classic indeed.
No news is good news, right?
Hidden Gems is coming to an end. So did you find them? And more on this episode of GoCast. Hello and welcome to the GoCast podcast, episode 250. It's August 29th, yet another Tuesday evening. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing this week?
I'm doing good for the most part. So, yeah.
Still feeling go festive?
No, I'm kind of done. I'm real done. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, before we even left for New York 2 weeks ago, you were talking for several weeks prior. You're like, I'm a little close to burning out. So, I want to take it slow. And even myself, this past weekend, you know me, I'm always ready for more. This past weekend, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not burned out. I had a fantastic time. We'll talk about it in a minute. It's a lot. 2 weeks in a row is a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, I would have loved a bye week, just one. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we are here. We're going to be talking about our GoFest global experience and not much else, to be honest, because we are probably recording, I don't know, ballpark 24 to 36 hours ahead of when all of the new season information will be published. And that means that next week we will have timed it correctly for our all hands host podcast for the seasonal update. We do have one teaser to discuss, I suppose, but we'll get to that in due time. First things first, though, shout out to all of our amazing patrons for supporting the show. Thank you all very, very much. We appreciate you. We couldn't do this without you. And more about Patreon and patronage at the end of the episode, so we don't bog you down right here with that sort of stuff. So, Mr. Kyle, we did set some goals. We'll do our GoFest Global Greater conversation in just a little bit when we hop into the news section, because what else would go there? So let's talk about our goals here first. So, Mr. Kyle, you wanted to get several named shinies, and one of these goals was a little astronomical. Let's see if you pulled it out. So first up, shiny Joltik.
I did.
Okay.
I got 3.
Oh, get out of here. Oh my gosh. Shiny Gumi.
I did. I got 4.
Oh, it hurts.
Sorry, everyone out there who did not get one.
It hurts. But congratulations. Good for you. 10 total shinies.
Yeah. We lowballed apparently this week. We had no idea what we were getting into.
We did. No, you failed. You didn't get 10 exactly. How many did you get total?
47.
47. That's a good amount.
Almost all of them were on day 1 because day 2 was dedicated to almost exclusively raiding with the plus catching for the most part.
100%. And we'll get to that in a little bit. We got thoughts. We got feelings. The Diancie research, which was much more than just research around Diancie, it turned out. We had 3 separate research strings to do over the 2 days.
Yeah, there was. I did all 3. There was the Diancie one. There was the free Rayquaza one, and then after that you got the paid Rayquaza one.
Yeah, so, the one where it's do all the raids, get out there, do them,
get the Mega Energy,
and a Hundo Legendary. Mr. Kyle, you were really feeling optimistic, very out of character. How did that go?
Last week I said that this was very unlikely to happen. I got not 1, not 2, but 3 Hundo legendaries this weekend.
You got 3?
I got 3.
I only know about 1.
2 Rayquazas and a Groudon.
Oh, I didn't know about the Rayquaza. Wow, that was a separate conversation. I didn't put the two together. How? Wow.
So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, very, very happy. I was so happy about that. We'll talk more about that whole day later, but I have to also shout out that my girlfriend can now hold it over me forever because she got a Shundo Rayquaza.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, everyone listening here pretty much knows how good and important that is. So yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah. Well, I hope that she continues to hold that over your head in perpetuity because it's a worthwhile thing to do that with.
Forever. She's never going to let that one go.
Good.
Ever.
Good. That's what this game's all about. You know, that's what this game's all about, or something like that. Well, congratulations, and a hearty congratulations on not 1, not 2, but 3 Hundo legendaries. That's pretty nuts, actually. So that's a full suite for you. All right, for myself, 15 shinies. Again, like Kyle said, we lowballed this quite a bit. I actually walked away with 61 total. So good stuff. Finish all possible research. I did do that. Shiny Gumi. It was tough, but we pulled it out. I got 1.
You got 1.
I got 1. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Shiny Joltik, that eluded me. I thought that was going to be the easier one, but no. Shiny Joltik did elude me. So that's 3 out of 4 for me. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 5 for you, Mr. Kyle. Good job. Good job. Good job. You can just hold on to the bell. You've been killing it the past few weeks, honestly. So goodness me. Well, now I'm all primed and ready. I hope you are too, Kyle, to discuss our GoFest global experience. And what better place to do that than in the news section? So let's go into that. Yo, what up? It's the news. All right. We should talk about maybe the teaser that is half news first. Get it out of the way. Okay. So we don't have any official information or confirmation yet, but this is like as good as it's going to. It is, unfortunately. We got a teaser for GoFest, or not GoFest, Community Day Classic in September. It's on the 2nd. It's this weekend. It's coming up real soon. And we're also still waiting on bated breath for the seasonal update, which we have not seen yet. You got 2 days, Niantic. What are we doing? But anyway, this teaser showed Community Day Classic and the logo and then some fire being blown. And apparently I didn't have my audio on, but it also played a very familiar Pokemon cry. Which Pokemon cry was it, Kyle?
It's Charmander.
It's Charmander. Now, I have such torn feelings about this. I do. Because on one hand, I love that it's Charmander because that's so funny. Of course it's Charmander. Of course we get it for what, the 3rd or 4th time. That's ridiculous. But on the other hand, it could have been Cyndaquil. It could have been Cyndaquil and it's not. And that makes me sad. So, shame. We don't know anything about the bonuses or if they're going to do anything special with megas or eggs or what the move is going to be or anything like that. We just know pretty much with the smallest, slightest shadow of a doubt that it's Charmander. So there's that. Anything to say, Kyle?
I don't remember if we said this on the show or if we were in person, but if it's Charmander, which it looks like it is, I'm probably just not going to play it.
Yeah.
I'm just not particularly interested in, and that's totally okay. It's not for me.
That is totally okay. I'm going to play it because I feel like I must. And,
I keep my fingers crossed that next Classic they can do Ghastly.
Yeah, and the one after that's got to be Cyndaquil, right? It's happening. It's got to. It's got to. Give us Hisuian Typhlosion, please. Please. All right. Well, anyway, let's talk about our GoFest global experience then. Kyle and I had separate experiences. We were kind of playing locally around ourselves because surprisingly, neither of us really wanted to go through any great effort to to travel for it because we were still a little tired from New York. So I did some of the Woodstock stuff, our big old parks, and some play in the square. And Kyle, I'm assuming you played in some parks around you as well.
Yeah, I went to 2 local parks in particular, one for one day, one for the next. And yeah, it was a good place I played before. Had a great time.
Yeah. Day one kind of went as you would expect it to. It had the rotating habitats. People were, coming in, coming out, afternoon crew, morning crew. I saw all sorts of people out. I had two friends of mine come out and meet up, and we walked like 7 miles, something like that. Nothing too bad. And then did some car play in between in order to rest up. And it was nice. Lots of cloud cover all day. It was like mid 70s. Man, we were blessed.
Yeah, it was comfortable.
It was very comfortable. God. Yeah, no kidding. I don't think I could have handled yet another round of sunburn. Although I did lather up some sunscreen prior to this one, and then I was like, why did I even bother?
I definitely did, because let me tell you, we'll get to it. I did not put sunscreen on for day 2 because wasn't really thinking about it.
Yeah,
I needed it. I definitely needed it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I did a decent amount of walking, probably 12 or 13 miles on the first day.
Very nice. Okay.
And then, 8 to 10 on the second day.
Wow. Okay. Well, on the first day I did that walking, like I mentioned, and then I think I overdid it because I was still not feeling it 100%. And on Sunday, I was real not okay, really like sick as a dog. So I went and I cruised around the local community college, which is like my new favorite place to play. It's also like 5 minutes from the house, so it's not too bad at all. But let's talk about our specifics now. Let's start with our shinies. The shiny rate for this event was obscene. It was really, really good.
Yeah, it felt a lot better than my past experiences. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
usually GoFest in the past has been like 1 in 100, 1 in 120, somewhere like that, and it felt better than that, at least. Maybe I was lucky. I don't know.
There was one point in day 2, Kyle, and I don't have proof of this, so it's not really fair to even talk about it prior, but I did get 4 shinies back to back to back to back. And that's never happened to me before.
I did get 3 back to back to back. So that also happened to me.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, but let's talk about some highlights and some upsets here, because I certainly am upset with two Pokemon in particular.
Okay.
I did get all of the shiny Pikachu, all of them, all 4 of them, and I have extras. So if you're missing any, Kyle, I got you.
So I did not get the yellow Pikachu.
Oh,
but I got many of the rest.
So many green.
But my girlfriend got all of them, including duplicates of the yellow. So I traded for one of her yellow for one of my other colors.
Oh, good deal. And did it go lucky?
No.
Phooey. But my total was 10 shiny Pikachu of various types. Really just came away with it. Good stuff. So from a research, another highlight I got was an Onyx. And that was, to say the least, unexpected.
I started tossing those tasks as soon as I realized it was Onyx.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, I'm like, nah, that's not even worth it. Don't even want it.
Yeah, that's fair. 3 Scyther.
Oh.
Three shiny Scyther.
I still don't have a shiny Scyther.
Oh, I got you. I got several.
I know
now.
It nests. So if I really wanted to chase it, I could. But it feels like it would have happened by now.
Just a weird Pokemon. I don't even think it was featured, was it? Was it listed?
Yeah, it was. It was in the green hour.
Oh, okay. The green hour. That's
the
right.
green hour was the forgettable hour, though.
So runner up to runner up to Chris is most frustrated with this Pokemon species is, can you guess?
Is it Horsey?
It's not Horsey, but it is blue. The shiny is blue.
Oh, I don't know.
It's Miltank. I got 5 of them.
Oh my god!
5 Miltank.
We were trying to get Miltank so bad. What the heck?
Oh my gosh. 5 Miltank, and then the crowning champion of I never want to see another one of these as long as I live. The new Plusle, if you will, is Woobat. I got 6 of them, Kyle.
Oh, you got 6. You got another one after you told
6. I did. I almost threw my phone. Oh my gosh. And 3 Pawniard. That's actually that's like a humble brag for sure. 3 Pawniard. We love that.
All right. So for me, I got 9 shiny Pikachu,
Ooh.
which is crazy. I feel like every time there's a Pikachu with a hat at these events, you're like, I want to get one, and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It felt like they were raining. It was crazy. I got 3 Joltik, as I mentioned. Very happy about that. 4 Gumi. Love to see it. I got 3 Timber.
Whoa.
3 shiny Timber.
Whoa.
So
Timber Community Day 1.
Yeah. Now that I've gotten 3, Timber Community Day is coming up in
that's right.
November, probably.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, probably the cream of the crop, aside from the 4 Gumi, I got both Shellos.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So
Oh,
very,
that's
very
really
happy
nice.
about that.
Very good deal.
Definitely the most standout catches for sure.
How many Wurmples did you manage to get?
Just 1.
3, man. I
didn't-
any shiny I got like a million of them. I don't know what the problem is.
I didn't have much luck during the first hour, the pink hour.
Yeah.
Like, I got a Love Disc, I got a Wurmple, the Pikachu, and the Shellos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Oh, I got
Audino?
1 Miltank. I got 1 Miltank.
Did you get an Audino?
No, was trying.
Oh, I
Was
got one
trying.
of those. I got one of those, and it's rank 1 in some league because it's 0-15-15.
Oh, geez.
And I looked it up, and it's I'm never gonna use it because it's not good.
Oh, yep. I got a rank 19 Carbink.
Yo, for Great League,
Yeah.
very nice.
there's
That might be worth using.
Yeah. I caught
It is top.
2 rank 19s. I'm like,
Oh my
that
gosh.
looks good. Oh, that looks good. Oh, they're the same.
Oh, they both look good. Nice.
Yeah.
I think the only other one I forgot to shout out besides 1 Gumi, oh my gosh, was 1 Fomantis as well. Very happy to have gotten that one. Yeah. Good stuff. Any other shinies you want to shout out before we talk about our other experience? Because I got some personal frustrations and failings to get out.
I got 1 Poniard, which is nice. I got 1 in New York, so it wasn't as big a deal, but yeah, that's worth noting.
Well, now you got 2. But you need 3 for when King Gambit comes to the game.
Yeah, I've never evolved a shiny.
Oh, well.
Pretty much.
Okay.
If I'm not using it, it's never been evolved.
Yeah, I hold on to them because I'm like, they lose their trading fodder value if you evolve them. And so I always
Like I'm ever
keep
going
them.
to trade them anyways.
Yeah,
Let's be
yeah.
real.
Unless it's community day, then I evolve them freely. It's no problem. But
Yeah.
Pondered community day over Niantic's dead body, honestly. That's never going to happen. I say that. Watch it happen next year. That'd be crazy.
I could see it launching it with King Gambit like
That would
they
be
did
cool.
for Mamoswine all those years ago.
Yeah,
It
that would
could
be
work.
cool. Yeah, but the Niantic now is very different from when we had Swine Up Community Day Niantic, I
True,
think.
but counterpoint, I don't think King Gambit's actually going to be very good in Go.
Oh, probably not.
So
Probably
Maybe.
not. It's
whereas
got too
Mamoswine
much.
was obviously meta defining, as we're still seeing.
We're still using it. Yeah. King Gambit has too much competition in the dark and steel area. So I think you're probably right there. We'll see. Okay, let's talk about day 2, because day 2 was a lot of raids. It was a lot of raids. It was, for all intents and purposes, Mega Rayquaza raid day. And did people raid Mega Rayquaza until their eyes and their thumbs and their wallets bled? Yes. Yes, they did. Was I one of those people? I was not.
Oh,
I was not, because I was caught in the clutches of chasing after the shiny Goomster himself. Dude, I feel you, Kyle. I feel 2022 Kyle in my soul when we were walking around Chicago and we were doing so many Axie raids. Like, so many. It was a disgusting amount. And you were just like, I don't know what's wrong. Do I need to download an update or something? Is something wrong with my phone? But we've done 100 raids of Axew, and not one of them has been shiny for you. That was Goomy for me this time. I
Yeah.
got 1. I did like 80 raids. I was ignoring Rayquaza in the community college. Moo and other people that we know were doing all the Mega Rayquazas because there's like 7 or 8 gyms there. And I'm like going in between them, going to the 1-star raid, sitting there like a dummy, waiting for Carbink to pop up by accident because I'm like, oh no, you should have been a Goomster. But I got really lucky. There were a lot of them, but unlucky because only one was shiny, and it was one that was sent to me by somebody else. Oh my gosh. But I had to get that out. So I apologize to 2022 Kyle. Not 2023 Kyle. We're straight. But 2022 Kyle, I'm sorry for your loss. I do understand now. I'm a better man. Oh my gosh. But tell me about how many Rayquazas you did and that you were just throwing up a Rayquaza candy by the end of the day.
Oh my gosh. So I had about an hour at the start to do raids and stuff locally. And then I had to help my dad with something for about 2 hours. But my girlfriend came with me and she got the true hardcore Pokemon Go player experience and was holding 2 phones waiting for every raid invite that somebody sent me.
We love it.
And she'd be like, hey, so-and-so sent a raid. Should I join it? And I'm like, yeah, their raids are usually full.
Yes. Yes.
And so it did a ton there. And then we finally finished and left and went to the local park that we play at. I did 90 Rayquaza raids.
Woo-wee.
Just nonstop. Big shout out specifically to Tyler and Saramanda. So many raid invites. I got a lot of raid invites from a lot of people. Very much appreciated. Everyone that I could do, I did do. So if I didn't join, there was usually a reason.
Yeah, like you were doing another one.
Yeah, but also I'm out of raid passes. I did all my in-person raid passes.
Wow.
I've got 5 left. I started the weekend with 50.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So while I did a lot of remote raids, I did a lot of in-person raids. Day 1, found a small group of people. We went from raid to raid and kind of just took care of stuff like that. Day 2, found a larger group of people that happened to be bouncing between the same gyms that me and my girlfriend were. And we're like, hey, you doing that Rayquaza? And we're like, yeah, we're already walking. And trying to prioritize in person because surprise, surprise, 3 extra XL candy is a big deal.
Oh, it's huge.
When
it's huge. Especially when the tasks are like do 3 raids, get also an extra Mega Rayquaza or Rayquaza XL candy rather. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I did a lot of raids. Both my hundos were back to back. Got them within 3 raids, one in between. So
wow,
was very, very happy.
Ecstatic, Mr. Kyle.
Did not get many shinies. I only got 3 shiny Rayquazas. Although I'm not too heartbroken about it. I was kind of surprised by the small amount with how many raids I did. I also probably did 20 Gumi raids this weekend as well.
How could you not? You know?
Well, yeah. Well, this is a perfect transition. With the ready button, me and my girlfriend could walk to the gym, ready it, and walk away, and the raid would be over before we were even out of range of the gym.
But that's if you have somebody with you.
Yes, that's why I said that.
I had to hope that somebody would join and that they would have the presence of mind to ready immediately. And to those of you that did that, thank you. To the couple in the car that were kind of also tailing me for Gumi in person who refused every time to ready up. Who were you waiting for? And why do they never show up? I'm so mad.
But the ready up when playing with somebody, one other person in particular, was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Did you hatch 7-kilometer eggs this weekend?
No.
Okay.
I probably hatched almost nothing.
Okay. All right. What I did hatch was not out of the shinies I did hatch were not out of 7Ks. I got a Magikarp out of a 2K and I got a Shuckle out of a 5K.
I literally hatched almost nothing. I've already transferred all of it, so I probably only hatched maybe 20 eggs total. I was on the regular incubator's life because I had 40 left over from GoFest.
And there were no bonuses, which is wild to me. I think anytime that they want people to be out and walking, it should be half hatch distance at a minimum.
That was a huge factor for me not doing it. I'm just even if I were to fill on 7Ks, with how much I walked this weekend, I would have hatched 35 eggs or something like that.
Sure.
And it's just
just didn't happen because
not going to happen. No,
not enough of a
too many incubators for terrible value.
Yeah, you don't disrespect your super incubators like I do. You save them. Now, I will say I'm pretty much cleaned out of incubators now. I hatched 60 some odd eggs, quite a few. But right now I can't even get more because all 3 of my boxes that are available to me, none of them have incubators in them.
Even on the store? On the
I haven't checked the web store, but the ones that are in my app, no.
Oh, let me go see what I have in the app real quick.
Yep. Man, the Gumi just
no incubators.
Dang.
For me
that
either.
Stinks. That really stinks. Well, I'm happy to hear that you were rewarded for your faith and your commitment to the Rayquaza grind. I wish I could say the same, but not the case.
Now, one thing to mention, because we talked about the ready button, which is a fantastic feature. Please add it for solo raiders. We know that's not likely because they want people to play in groups, but whatever. Raid timers were really, really good.
Yeah, they were perfect.
There was whatever times they had internally set up was actually perfect. And it's almost, I've never said that about Pokemon Go. We had a fairly long walk in this park to go from section to section, which is a little unfortunate, but walk to a gym where we saw Mega Rayquaza. The other gyms in the park had eggs starting when we got to that Mega Rayquaza. So by the time we finished, we could just walk back and they'd be hatching. And it was like only almost a vicious cycle because we'd finish the raid and be like, oh, we got to walk all the way back. But it was really good.
Yeah, they were on half hour timers because it was 5 minutes to hatch for a timer, and then it was up for 25 minutes. And
the gym would have a new egg in 2 minutes.
Yep.
Max.
Yep. It was great. It was really great. It was also awesome seeing, like all the different colored eggs pop up. So if you were targeting something, you really could go for what you were looking for, whether it was Cowboy Hat, Snorlax, Gumi, or Rayquaza, or the Mega Raids too. Well, I suppose that is Rayquaza. But yes. Yeah.
Carbink.
And
Pikachu. That was the killer. I was like, I'm not raiding a Pikachu.
Thankfully, it was pretty low from what I saw because I was tracking 1-star raids essentially, and it was pretty low. One wave though, out of like the 5 that were in that one wave for 1-stars, 4 of them Carbink and then a Pikachu. None were Gumi. I was like, what am I supposed to do for 30 minutes?
Yeah, we had about 10 gyms in the park that we were playing at, roughly within walking distance. And only once in the 4.5 hours that we were there did we have a moment where we were like, what are we supposed to do? There's no raid. What are we supposed to do? And thankfully I had plenty of raid invites on the walks over, so it was great. But
good deal.
If they want people to raid, it needs to look like this from the future. This is it's kind of funny to praise this. I put that in quotation marks because I spent $120 this weekend. I'm flat out. I don't have any problem saying that because I haven't spent a lot of money on Go all year.
That's how much I did too. I bought $40 of coins 3 times.
Me too. I wasn't sure how much I was actually going to spend for the day, so I only did the 40 versus the 100. But anyways, we don't need to shame about the money itself. I'm praising for them letting me spend money. Like, if I want to spend money, I should be able to spend the money. That's kind of the rub there, I suppose. It would have been nice if they had made it unlimited remote raid passes and brought the price point down just a little bit for the bundles. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just talking about purely from like the spawning aspect. Oh, sure. This is a huge positive, and we're praising it because they're giving us the opportunity to do what they want us to do. And we haven't even touched on the biggest deal. Raid catch rate. Oh, yeah. Rayquaza, oh my gosh, was not a guaranteed catch, but it was like a 90% catch rate. Like if you threw a curveball and it wasn't nice, you caught it almost every single time. The greatest thing, period. I would have cried if I had to catch all of those Rayquazas properly. Oh, yeah. No, that would have been a nightmare. It would have been a real thorn in the side of anybody trying to raid and get them all done, especially with the timers so low. You'd be like, I can't waste my time on this. I guess I'm not catching. Like, yeah, but you want to for that Candy XL, It's amazing. And the feature of being able to catch it consistently alone made me want to do more raids. If raids every day were like that, I would probably do more raiding in general, even if I didn't care about the Pokemon. Yeah,
I would agree. I hope they do follow that model too for like future like raid events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
New York Go Fest. I could not tell you how many eVTOL I had run for me. My God.
yeah, no, that was not fun.
I went to go
very
look through
frustrating.
some statistics of like legendaries that I've seen versus caught. eVTOL is one of my worst catch rates. It's bad.
Is it like 60%?
I mean, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like here. I'll actually just give me 2 seconds and I'll look it up.
Okay.
2 seconds, and there it is. I've seen. Okay, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. I've seen 38 and I've caught 31.
Yeah.
Which is not that bad. Xerneas, I have not missed a single one though. For example.
Oh wow.
Which is significant.
So for a Veltal, you've got like an 80% some odd catch rate. That's pretty good. Yeah, I would not want to look at like my Zekrom or something like that because those were pains in the butts too. You know what I really appreciate? How easy Groudon is to catch because he just doesn't move.
Yeah. You know what I don't appreciate?
Please tell me.
How hard Mega Kyogre is.
Kyogre, yeah, Mega Kyogre or Primal Kyogre, sorry.
Primal Kyogre
is a menace, dude.
It's too hard. I was accepting raid invites with 5 or 6 people in it, and I'm like, I gotta leave because y'all aren't gonna beat it.
Yeah.
And that's just really frustrating.
That being said, how many lobbies I saw with 7 people, I'm like, okay, we can do this. And then at 5 seconds, 2 people leave. If you're one of those 2 people, you're the worst person.
Yes.
You probably don't use your turn signals when you drive. You're the worst. Nobody likes you. Do better. We deserve better.
Okay, so this is perfect because apparently I'm very bad at catching Groudon and Kyogre. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Yeah, so ready.
Groudon, 84 seen. 52 caught.
Ooh.
I don't even understand how that is possible.
Yeah, man.
Kyogre, 83 seen. 57 caught.
It's a little bit better, but not much.
Yeah.
They're tough.
I'm convinced that most of those failures are during Hoenn Tour where you got like 6 balls for doing a primal raid.
Yeah, probably.
So
Probably. Yeah.
Still.
Well, anyway, all in all, GoFest Global 2023 out of 10. What do you think?
It was a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
I think it's the best global they've had without a question.
It is the best global they've ever had. I will say that. I'm going to say a 9 out of 10 for me because I feel like day 2, while I did appreciate it being a little bit more loosey-goosey, I feel like it did lack a little bit of identity.
I don't know. I mean, they wanted the identity to be raids, but I thought spawns were still really good. I didn't pay that much attention, but they were good enough. Also, this is just a casual reminder. Don't check your journal if you use a ++. Did I send you the screenshot?
You did.
I did. Okay. I lost the shiny unknown D because of my ++ that I never would have known about if I hadn't checked it. That said, I was in a raid, so I wasn't going to catch it anyways, but it still hurts.
If you're listening and you can, pour one out for the homie right there. That's sad stuff. Imagine losing the shiny D. That's awful. Well, I'm sorry. Let's bury that trauma though by moving on to the next segment, I suppose. But yeah, GoFest 2023 global, great. New York was good too. We talked about it last week. Some minor things about the park, I guess, but city experience was good, and global seemed like, by all accounts, everybody playing it both free and otherwise, everybody seemed to have a pretty decent time. Like, you either loved it or you were like, yeah, it's all right. And that's amazing right now for Go, and the not the temperature, but just how everybody's feeling about it, online, socially, and otherwise. I really did not see that many complaints, besides a couple of like bugs with raids and stuff like that, with like, getting the whiteout screen and having to restart. I lost several raid passes like that, but
I didn't lose that many to the bug, but it happened to me a lot.
Yep.
Like maybe 70% of the raids that I did.
It happened on the day 1 a lot for me, and then day 2 it seemed to not happen at all.
Day 2 was my biggest problem. Here's a question for you.
Sure.
Did you get any other meteorites?
Yeah, I've got like three other ones.
But you've mega evolved 1.
Yes.
So
I had 4 total.
Because you get 4 total from New York and then 2 from yesterday. Okay.
Well, I got 2 from New York and 2 from yesterday. Yep.
Yeah. I got 1 from raids. I
Oh.
did 90 Rayquaza raids. I did get 1 meteorite. So I have 3 currently, and I have 2 Rayquazas that no Dragon Ascent.
Let me see. Is it in your evolution items? It's not.
No, you have. I don't know if it is, but you can go to like a Rayquaza and it will be on.
Well, yeah, I just had my bag open still. Let's see, Rayquaza. Yeah, I've got 3 meteorites still.
And you only have 1 with Dragon Ascent, so yeah, you did not, but you didn't do really any Rayquaza raids, so fair enough.
No, I think I did probably 10 or 15, something like that. And then that was about it for Rayquaza. The rest was just Goomy. Really?
Yeah. So
blinders on for Goomy.
Even generally speaking, a 1% drop rate's real bad, but it's possible. It's possible.
But it's good that they gave us as many as they did. I mean, do you really need more than 1 or 2? You don't.
I mean, if you want to be like super min-maxy about it, 3 would be like really ideal.
Listen here. Just because you've got 2 hundos doesn't mean the rest of us.
Well, no, I have 3 Mega Gengars also at Mega 3, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you do that. That's a labor of love, my friend.
But
that's not out of
Mega
necessity.
for 8 hours each, and it's free every 3 days. So if you have 3, you can literally use 1 every single day, and the first one is ready. So if you always want to have a Mega Rayquaza for free, you have to work on 3 simultaneously.
All right. The reasoning you have for having 3 Mega Gengar is garbage, and I'll tell you why. Because you're not playing for 24 hours straight.
No.
You're playing this for 8 hours at a time.
No, I'm not talking about straight. Monday, I use Mega Gengar 1. Tuesday, he's on cooldown, so I use Mega Gengar 2.
Uh-huh.
Wednesday, he's on cooldown, so I use Mega Gengar 3. And then Thursday, Mega Gengar 1 is off of cooldown.
Mega Gengar 1, if you use it Mega the first day and then you go into Mega the second day, the cost is going to be like less than 10 Mega energy. You do 1 Mega Gengar raid, which you're going to do already. You have more. You are flush with energy.
Do you want to know how much Mega Gengar energy I
How much do you have? Make this worse for you. How much do you have? Tell me the number. Stop laughing. Tell me the number.
I have 7,072 Mega Gengar.
Oh my God. Kyle. No. All right. We're not going to talk about Mega Gengar ever again, except we are. Every episode, I'm sure.
Look, part of that is because I've walked 3 Gengars for about 150 kilometers each to best buddy them. So each time I get 15 Mega energy.
I say it again, a labor of love, not of logic, of love.
I also have 7,197 Mega Rayquaza energy. So
oh, well, you worked for that. You earned that. My goodness.
So look, the logic applies. Whether you think it's of value is your own decision.
All right, I'll give you that. That's fine. We can meet halfway on that one. Oh my God. Get out of here with your 7,000 plus Mega Gengar energy. Okay, I've had enough. We can go into Gear Up now. That sounds good.
All right, so for Gear Up this week, we're going to take a trip to Paldea. We're going to talk about the starters and what they may look like. It's all very hypothetical. We know
what they look like.
Well, do we know what they look like in Go? I guess they technically all use the same models because Pokemon Company's lazy. But anyways.
Copy paste.
No, they made all new models for Sword and Shield, remember?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, that's why they looked exactly like the other ones.
So this is all hypothetical about movesets, basically best case scenarios with what they are currently able to have minus, community day moves. And first up, you have Masquerada, which is Grass Dark. Best case scenario for Grass is Leafage and Grass Knot. And if it gets that, it's actually good. Like, good, which is very rare that a starter is just good out the gate. It's very glassy, but it's comparable to Roserade as a budget grass type, that's pretty good. That's a compliment for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It goes without saying, this is not excluding shadows and excluding megas. Not excluding legendaries, but yeah, you're not going to compete with Kartana for the most part. Without Frenzy Plant, as we're talking about here, it's already better than Sceptile with Frenzy Plant. Barely. Just barely. But it is. That's it. Sceptile, Mega Sceptile. So that's a thing, of course. So Frenzy Plant is actually going to be a pretty good boost to Meowscarada. Now, Dark type. Bite and Dark Pulse is what it looks like it could best possibly get. It's not really worth talking about. Dark is so competitive. We just got Brutal Swing Tyranitar. This is not good. It's just not good. Next up, I'm never going to say this name right. Quaquaval?
Yeah, Quaquaval.
Quaquaval?
You nailed it, actually.
Nope, don't like it. Anyways.
But you got it.
Water Fighting type. So it's a fun typing. It's what Grapple Locked should have been, but Water Gun and Surf is its best possible moveset from what I've seen. And the unfortunate news is water is just really competitive. There's a lot of very strong water types. So without Hydro Cannon, it really is not worth much of anything. Now, with Hydro Cannon is a completely different discussion. Hydro Cannon is, for lack of better words, busted. With Hydro Cannon, it's going to outperform Water Shuriken Greninja, which we just talked about as being top of the class. Otherwise, remember that class is very niche. It is no shadows, no megas, no legendaries, but still very good. So that's kind of exciting. There's the most exciting of the community days, I think, for these three from a usability standpoint. For fighting type, counter and close combat, just no. Machamp exists. Breloom exists. Breloom?
Breloom.
Even Toxicroak exists. Okay. That was kind of mean. It actually is better than Toxicroak, but not by much. So don't look forward to this one in terms of fighting, at least.
It's okay. It's got water to carry. It's fine.
Now, my personal favorite, Skeledirge. Fire Ghost. For Ghost, Lick and Shadow Ball. It's not terrible. That's really all there is to say about it. It's pretty bulky, and that helps it compete overall, and it makes it usable if it gets this specific moveset. If it gets Hex, it's much worse. If it doesn't get Shadow Ball, just throw it back because it's not going to be usable at all. But there's really not a lot of reason to use it over Gengar or Chandelure, let alone if you have Giratinos waiting to be used.
Oh, yeah, Chandelure. Not to mention Armor Rouge, too. If it's going to be good. But, I mean, Chandelure alone. Ceruledge? No, is it? Oh, yeah, the other one's Psychic.
Fire Psychic. But something tells me that Ceruledge is going to have a really bad moveset in Go.
Probably.
So that's just predicting. Probably. But anyways. For fire types, Fire Fang and Overheat. It's awful. Like... Not only does Fire have some really good options, both obtainable and a little bit harder to get, I had to go 5 pages deep on the simulations just to find Skeledirge.
Oh my gosh.
Which, granted, that list does list Pokemon with multiple movesets multiple times. So, Reshiram is on there 4 times on those 5 pages. Its bulk stops it from being truly horrendous, but even using other budget options like Flareon or other starters without Blast Burn are better. And while Blast Burn will help, it's not enough to make a difference. You still would rather use Delphox with Blast Burn or Blaziken with Blast Burn.
Yeah.
And none of these hold a candle to Darmanitan, regular Darmanitan, or Reshiram, really. Or Chandelure, again, Ghost Fire. The other Ghost Fire is just better in Go than Skeledirge, which makes me sad.
Now, question for you. Do you think that when they get their community days, they're going to just get the regular suite of moves, or do you think they're going to get their signature moves just maybe renamed and the stats moved around a little bit? Because that wasn't always the case for other Pokemon along the way. Like Sceptile just has Frenzy Plant, right? That's the thing to get on Sceptile in the main series games too. But like Meowscarada's got Flower Trick, Skeledirge is what, Fire Song, what's it called? Something like that. I don't know Quick Evolve because I never played it or used it. But they all have a new one, something different.
Well, so here's the potential counterpoint. Sceptile got Leaf Blade for its community day, which is also a charge move, but not meta defining for PvE. Just a big deal for PvP, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like from the way that it plays in the main series games, that all of their signature moves make more sense as charge moves than fast moves. But we've been surprised before, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Blaze Kick for Blaziken was another charge move, just served a different purpose too, just like Leaf Blade.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't like it won't make them better.
Okay.
Like Blaze Kick, even I could be wrong here. I'm pretty sure even in PvP, you'd rather have Blast Burn on Blaziken. I don't think Blaziken gets much use in PvP, but that's beside the point.
I don't know.
And of course, I don't remember what the other moves do, but Skeledirge's signature move increases attack when you use it, which is a prime charge move to try and enhance its performance in PvP. So it feels like they could do a dual move thing where the second one is to try and make it more PvP relevant, and the standard community day moves makes them more PvE relevant.
I guess we'll see. I just, because like Flower Trick just is a one-hit big bomb move because it always crits, right? So it's in my head like that would be easily exchanged for Frenzy Plant, because otherwise they'd be stepping on each other's toes. And I think retooling it too much where it's like less and it performs more like a Leaf Blade or something would just be not in the spirit of the move. So that's what made me ask the question, at least. But maybe we'll see how they handle this in like 5 years. Yeah. We got some time, but anyway,
we got some time is right.
Yeah. But these are interesting to look forward to for sure.
Yeah, I think that the most standout from before Community Day is Meowscarada. Really, it's not even close. But Quaquaval after Community Day is very interesting for being able to perform as well as it potentially could. All of this, remember, is assuming the right moveset. They could give Meowscarada Bullet Seed instead of Leafage, and that will be very different in terms of its performance. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. Or Magical Leaf even. I don't even think that would help. So,
I guess we'll see. And according to the teasers, we're going to see them real soon. So, yeah, that'll be cool to see. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kyle, for yet another wonderful Gear Up segment. We're going to take a quick little short break here, and then we'll be back with Pokelore. Welcome back. It is Pokelore time, and this week we're going to be covering what I had queued up for last week and we didn't have time for. We're talking Goomy and Sliggoo, the soft tissue Pokemon, and Goodra, the dragon Pokemon. But if you ask me, all three of them are just the betrayer of Chris Pokemon. That's for sure. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe my bad luck. But starting off with Goomy. Goomy is a Pokemon that resembles a slug or a slime with beady black eyes. The lower half of its body is light purple, while the upper half is a paler shade of purple. Along the dividing line of the two colors are 5 large green spots. The front part of this line is its mouth. On top of its head are 2 pairs of antenna-like horns. The hind pair is longer than the front pair. These sensitive horns are used to check its surroundings. Goomy is considered the weakest dragon-type Pokemon. Take it back, that's rude. Its body is mostly water and is covered by a germ-laden mucus membrane. This slimy layer causes physical attacks to slide off harmlessly. However, it becomes unable to breathe and will die if its body dries out. Because of this, it stays in damp, shady areas. Goomy's horns have powerful sensors that allow it to locate any sign of the enemy, allowing it to survive any kind of danger. As seen in the anime, its diet consists of leaves. I love this. Goomy's horns are powerful sensors that allow it to locate any sign of the enemy. Like Big conspiracy theory. Who are they? The enemy. In Hisui, when Gumi evolves into Sliggoo, it gains an additional steel type along with a metallic spiral shell due to its mucus having a reaction to the iron-rich waters of the region. Gumi and its Hisui and evolved forms are the only known Pokemon capable of learning the move Shelter. Speaking of Sliggoo, Sliggoo is a Pokemon that resembles a snail. The lower half of its body is light purple, when the upper half is a paler purple. Not much going on there difference-wise. It has featureless green eyes, a single tiny eyelash over each eye, and 2 pale green spots on each cheek. It has nubby, underdeveloped arms. On top of its head are 2 pairs of antenna-like horns. The front horns are small nubs, while the hind horns are considerably larger. Its gelatinous body forms a spiral shell-like structure on its back. Contained within the shell are its brain and other organs.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, just keep it back there. Keep it in the trunk. Sliggoo excretes and coats its body with sticky mucus that can dissolve anything. Because it lacks teeth, it sprays this liquid onto prey and slurps them up once they are dissolved. Since its slime can melt through anything, predators stay far away from it. That's probably a good call. Its eyes have devolved, causing it to go blind. This makes it difficult for it to tell allies from prey, and it will sometimes attempt to melt its companions. That's an innocent mistake. Its 4 horns act as a radar system and are used to detect sounds and smells. Sliggoo only cares about food and will flee from its enemies whenever possible. Dude, same. Very relatable Pokemon. Lastly, we got Goodra. Goodra is a bipedal draconic Pokemon that is coated with slime. Most of its body is pale purple with a darker purple underside. It has bright green eyes, 2 green spots in each cheek, a relatively long neck, and a short, rounded snout. On top of its head are 2 pairs of antenna-like horns. The foremost horns are small nubs, but the hind horns are longer, thicker, and curve down its neck. The tip of the larger horns are slightly curled. It has proportionally short limbs, with 2 digits each, and a large, thick tail with a curled tip. Along each side of its tail are 3 green spots. A pale green slime is usually visible, dripping from its chin and arms. It is known for having a great affinity for water, being able to live within water with no difficulty at all, as well as dive and surf all around the area. Because of its meek, friendly nature, Goodra is often teased for supposed weakness. Goodra is known to be very friendly. When it grows close to someone, it will hug them and leave them coated in slime. If it is left alone, it will ooze gooey tears. Oh, what's that? Goodra usually misunderstands instructions, appearing dazed or bewildered. Despite this, many trainers don't mind it, instead finding this behavior to be adorable. However, it will strike at its tormentors with its retractable horns and powerful tail. Goodra can become uncontrollable once enraged, kind of a common thing with dragon Pokemon, it seems. The horns can hit 100 times harder than the blow of a heavyweight boxer. There's the line, Kyle. There it is. It is also capable of throwing punches with incredible force. Its slimy
stubby little arms.
Love it. Its slimy coating in combination with a layer of fat causes attacks to slide off. Goodra lives in plains and mountains, usually during rainy days. I guess it doesn't live during rainy days. What a weird sentence that is.
I don't know why.
Well, let's take a look at some stats here. Max CP at 40 is 3505, and then at level 50 is 3963, just under that 4,000 mark. 207 stamina, 242 defense, and 220 attack. Truly pseudo-legendary statistics. Best moveset is going to be Dragon Breath with Draco Meteor and Power Whip or Muddy Water, one of those two. But yeah, if you're using it for PvP, you can take Dragon Breath, Power Whip, and Muddy Water if you want some more coverage there. Because Draco Meteor kind of takes forever to get to with Dragon Breath. So
yeah.
Yep. Strong Pokemon, strong stats, thick. It's great Pokemon.
One of its major downsides is it's mono dragon.
Yeah.
It's the only pseudo legendary that's mono dragon too.
It also just should not be. There's no reason why it's not dragon poison. There's no reason.
Dragon water too.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Dragon water feels like it would be very strong though. Like as a typing, that's kind of ridiculous.
They tried that once before, but it turned out to be flying water instead.
I mean, there's a couple of water dragon Pokemon, but
yeah, Dragalge, right?
No, Dragalge is water poison. Dragon
Water
poison. Dragon poison.
Something like that.
Dracovish is water dragon.
Oh, okay.
And Palkia is water dragon.
Palkia. I always forget about its water typing. Always.
I keep circling back to the line where it says Gumi is the weakest dragon type Pokemon. Like, that's real offensive. So I went to go look just to see if maybe statistically Gumi was a little weaker for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
No, every pseudo first stage is 300 base stat total. So I was like, why you gotta be so mean?
It's rude. Even Gumi? Gumi's also got 300 base stat.
Yeah, Gumi's 300.
Huh.
Ironically, Axew, which is not a pseudo legendary, is 320. So I thought that was funny.
Oh. Wait,
But
Axew's not considered pseudo legendary? I thought it would have been.
No, we've talked about this. It's not a pseudo legendary.
Larvitar is?
Larvitar is.
Dratini is?
Dratini.
Then how is Axew not?
Because Axew's not the pseudo legendary from its generation.
But there could be more than one.
No, there can't.
Well, I think that's an arbitrary rule.
I mean, you're right. Okay. That is actually an arbitrary rule because I think another generation breaks that. But the real reason is because its third stage doesn't have 600 base total attack.
Oh.
In Japan, they're not called pseudo legendaries. They're called like the 600 club or something like that.
Gotcha.
And so Haxorus, I think, is like 540 or something like that.
Well,
yeah, it's 540.
The more you know. All right. Well, that's Gumi, the Goomster, and that entire family. Hope you learned something. I did. I'm not going to be touching a Gumi or a Sliggoo until they're Goodra, because apparently then you can freely hang out and it won't try to melt you and slurp you up.
No,
So,
it'll just punch you with incredible force.
That's all right. Or it'll hit you with the tail with the force of 1,000 heavyweight boxers or whatever it was. Anyway, let's hop into Pokepoll.
So last week's Pokepoll question was, what is the furthest out of your way you've gone for a Pokemon, raid, etc.?
I got to say, really quick, shout out to everybody that responded with like about 2 blocks. Loved it. They were very funny.
First response from Charmander, and they said, oh man, I live in a cul-de-sac. So from my house, the only stops I can see are not things I can walk to, like a gated apartment complex, amenities, and university campus. Well, back when Noibat was a brand new exciting rare spawn, I was minding my own business one night at home when I saw the shadow of a Noibat on my nearby radar. Of course, it is on the stop inside the gated apartment complex, but I'm still like, I turn to my significant other who is in the room, and I'm like, there's this rare Pokemon nearby. Like, I can get to it, but I have to drive to it. I was kind of expecting my non-Go playing significant other to roll his eyes and be like, really, Amanda? But he was like, go get it then. So I hopped in my car and raced off to it. Well, driving responsible speeds, obviously. Never drive recklessly over Pokemon. I was posting a play-by-play of this also on a Discord server. I got the "it fled" message, so I freaked out, but then realized maybe it was because I had moved away from it due to being in a cul-de-sac. And sure enough, when I drove around several left turns later, when I got back into range, it reappears in the nearby. I was up at the apartment gates, so close I could spin the stop, but no Noibat was spawning. Oh no, so close yet so far. I looked over at the gates, pondering if I could climb over them or not. Probably not. The fence was definitely designed to deter randoms from climbing over them. Thankfully, in my release, someone buzzed the gate and I walked in behind them. I think I had parked my car somewhere outside the gate out of the way. And sure enough, I just needed to walk a few feet inside the gate to be in range. Caught the Noibat and then followed another car not too long after, out through the exit gate. The end.
Nice.
Very funny. Also, would have been very funnier if like a car hadn't left for 20 more minutes.
And you were trapped in that.
Like, I can't get out.
Oh my gosh. I hope the Noibat was worth it. Of course it was. That's the whole point.
Star. This is a 0-star Noibat.
It's for the chase, for the dex entry, if you will.
I know. Always.
Uh-huh.
Next one's from J1718. They said, I have been hunting for Snorlax and Mewtwo for Master League. I raided over 200 Mewtwo's and finally caught one during my lunch break at a local park. Sat at a park bench and enjoyed my reward. And for a Hundo Snorlax, my friend caught one and messaged me immediately. I live in the New York City area, so got on a quick train ride, 3 stops, and then ran in a hot summer day to finally arrive at the spot with the hope the Hundo was still around. Lucky for me, it still was. Both worth the hunt. Shiny vibes all. That's a great story. I love that.
I'm very happy you got it in the end.
call out a hundo, and it's just like, let me get on the train. Hang on.
I'll be right there. I'm just like $6 over.
I can just picture, because I'd be that person. I'm sitting in the chair just bouncing. I'm like, why is the train going so slow? Why is the train going so slow? Come on.
Stops. Everybody get out of my way. I have a connecting flight.
Next response is from Maxitron. They said, I think I've already told my story of swimming out to an island gym past dangerous surf on Oahu. So I won't go again on that one, though it is exciting.
It's a good story.
There's also the time when Charmander first nested in town during the first Halloween event. That was a fun time, too. I did drive out into an ongoing hurricane, which wasn't as hard hitting for where I live, as they are coastally, and with that specific one, and nabbed an executor that I later named Hermine. That's probably the hurricane I went out into to grab. I've had expensive Latios that cost me $40 extra because of the parking ticket it got me. Oh, gotta give that one a good nickname. I think I've told all of those before, but another fun one I remember after looking through my gym badges was that one is situated on an old Indian shell mound. I'm not sure if it's the kind that's just a landfill for their eaten oysters, or if it was some sort of terraforming or gravesite. Maybe a bit of all three.
Probably.
Anyway, there is and was a gym there, and I knew it held it for a long time. So when I was out that way, I'd always make a point to take it for myself. One time I went there, it was the twilight hour of nightfall, and with the tree cover, it was getting extra dark on this trail that led up to where the mound was. I was running, so I didn't have to keep my passengers waiting, and then realized the whole ground on the trail was moving, and not quietly either, and not loudly. Scuttling, shuffling, clicking, and all just enough space for my footfalls. It was crabs. Hundreds of little fiddler crabs doing what evolution had made them do best. Urged me to run faster and pretend they've also evolved camouflage.
What were they playing on their little fiddles?
Oh my God.
That's what I want to know.
I would have freaked out.
Yeah, no thanks.
In hindsight, I'd be fine, but like in the moment, I'd have been like, ah!
That's a horror movie reveal for sure. Oh, what a good story. Goodness.
For our last response from the Scorpio Kid, they said, early spring / late winter 2018, I lived in Kent, Ohio, while I was going to school at KSU. I was living above a bar downtown, and sometimes when I parked my car after work, the bar would get packed and I would get double parked. And wouldn't you know, one late night after coming home from work around midnight, I get a text from my friend who's on campus telling me there's 100% EV there that just spawned. So I have that 30-second debate with myself about putting clothes back on just for a Pokemon. But ultimately, I ended up putting clothes on and running down to my car to find it has once again been double parked. So I run. I think to myself, the spawn is only about a mile or so down the main street. So there I am, running in Converse shoes, basketball shorts, and a t-shirt. Thought I was going to be driving in like 40-degree weather. I ran about halfway there, and I'm considering turning around because of the cold. But then I see it, the holy grail, the one thing that could get me there in time, an electric scooter. So I pay the fee, hop on, and I'm off. Even colder now, but I didn't care. I made it there, caught my Eevee, and then proceeded to have my friend crank the heater as she kindly drove me home with my prize. I thanked my friend, got inside, and went to bed. I now have a sweet, sweet 100% Jolteon.
The one thing that can get me there in time, an electric scooter. It was not the turn I was expecting.
Very good. Very fun story. Oh my gosh. Love it.
Wow. All
right. So for this week's Pokepoll, we have, what are the pros and cons of seasons for you as a trainer in Pokemon Go?
So this question kind of came up because I've recently been having several conversations with different people that are like new to the game or returning, and they're trying to find specific Pokemon, and come to find out, they're just not available this season. Come back in a month. And I thought that conversation was worth sort of having here as well. So, Kyle, what are the pros and cons of seasons for you as a Pokemon Go trainer?
I think commenting on a well-designed season, because we've had some that are better than others, obviously. A well-designed season has the pros that gives me a little bit more identity and focus to what I can do, or what I would like to do. Seasons of Legends, I think it was a great example. 5,000 more experience from a raid is a good influence for making me want to raid, for example. Increased experience for doing your 7-day research streak, not really a good thing because it's just a bonus. It doesn't actually speak to my play.
Yeah.
I think the cons for me is being stuck with specific spawns. It not necessarily because for me personally, I have just about everything that is naturally going to spawn until new stuff comes out. But, not seeing a Caterpie for like 3 months. Caterpie, it's a silly Pokemon for some people, but like, I like to see it. I like to see some more variety, and it feels like despite stuff shifting, variety is not good outside of events.
Yeah. I kind of half agree with that. I think the variety outside of events is interesting because you see all sorts of evolved Pokemon too.
Yes, okay,
but the longer that we're in between events, the more I'm like, okay. But like a day or two, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. But yeah. I don't know. I really agree with your pro though, that it gives segments of time in this game a sense of identity, and when it's done well, it feels really good. Mm-hmm. And when it's done poorly, there's usually enough event, or not even poorly, when it's done less well than it could have been. The events are usually enough to be distracting that you're like, oh, right, I forgot that there were subpar seasonal bonuses, or the spawn pool's not all that great. The con for me, though, is that in the spirit of this game, if you like, I kind of want like the Pokemon dream, like if I want this Pokemon and if I look in the right places, I should be able to find it. And that's just not true some cases. And I completely understand why. And I think it's a good reason that it would otherwise be a chaotic mess with 5.5 generations of Pokemon out all the time. It would be therefore also impossible to find some Pokemon because you would probably never roll them in the spawn points that you see, right? That they're picking from the pool at large. So like, I appreciate being able to target things and knowing what to look for, and then knowing not to waste your time if what you're looking for isn't in a particular pool or not. And then they fix some of those gaps with events, right? And stuff like that. But it does lose that quality of exploration, I feel. And that's sort of a bummer. But I think the pros outweigh the cons in that sense.
I think they can.
Oh, okay.
I think some seasons the pros have outweighed the cons and others they have not. But like, look back on the topic of new trainers not being able to get certain Pokemon. Sometimes it's meta relevant, sometimes it's not. I'm not really going to touch on that. Before we had Togetic Community Day, whenever that was, I don't even remember now. Was that in March? Something like that?
I think it was April.
For
Easter season.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it had been 2 full seasons before Togepi had been in raids or eggs.
Yep.
That's not good. That's a problem. I think if we have rotating habitats and stuff in seasons, they have to be comprehensive. You gotta make sure that every other season you got a chance for at least some of the slightly harder to get Pokemon. And we're not really talking about solutions, but this one I was just thinking in terms of seasons. And we talked about before, they need to put more focus on nests. I think nests are solutions to these kind of problems. Instead of make nests more defined, make them easier to find. Let people be able to see, at least geographically on the map, where nests are better. Make nesting regions instead. At this park, you're more likely to find Pokemon from Hoenn. Just full stop. All 134 Pokemon that aren't legendary have a chance of spawning in this park. And that gives people the opportunity to play the way they want while also getting people to go places.
Yeah, it encourages them to go check. Oh, it's a new week. What's the new nest or something like that,
It's like, I'd love to know how often people actually care about what's nesting.
Well, they only care once they stumble upon it and like, oh, actually, I could do something with this, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, Charmander's nesting? Great. Oh, I could do something with this amount of Charmander. Oh, it's already Saturday. Well, and I'm busy tomorrow. I wish I knew it on Thursday when I was off, you know? But yeah, I think they really got to lean into nests a bit more. I know I think we've been on record saying that several times in the past like couple of months. But yeah, I would agree with you. But anyway, this is a very personal sort of question, so we're interested to hear what people have to say. So if you, dear listener, have an answer to this week's Pokeball question, which is, once again, what are the pros and cons of seasons for you as a trainer in Pokemon Go? You can answer that question when it's posted on socials, i.e. the platform previously known as Twitter, at GOCast Podcast. You can, of course, leave us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com. You can call and leave a voicemail with your answer if you so choose to 262-586-7717. If you're listening on the Spotify app, you can answer the question there. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, and if you aren't, please go check it out. Maybe drop that channel a sub. We'd love it. I'm trying really hard to grow the YouTube channel, so a sub would be very much appreciated, even if you don't intend to watch the videos. And then where else? There's one other place. Actually, I think that, we have our patron exclusive Discord Pokepoll answer channel. If you are a patron of ours, you can, of course, go there and post your answer. Cool. But speaking of emails, voicemails, and the like, Mr. Kyle, it's getting to be about that time, but would you do us the honor of heralding in the segment?
It's time for emails.
And just a couple of voicemails. I actually got an extra voicemail in that we're going to push to next week. This person already knows because it is geared towards the seasonal reveal when we have Fish and DeFi on with us next week. So if you listening now would like to send something in before we record next Tuesday, I believe it's the 5th, I think. Please feel free to send it in and address it to all of us because we'll be hanging out. So there's that. But without further ado, we do have a couple of voicemails. This first one is from Sketchy Emma. We'll play it here.
Hi, Kyle and Chris. Sketchy Emma here.
Hello.
I hope you both had a great Global Go Fest. I know I did. My partner Brittany and I were looking forward to it for weeks before it happened, like it was Christmas. We even sung Go Fest Eve carols. And by we, I mean me. It was me.
Love it.
Other than the rest of the world playing in 2016, we started back up again this year, and we are level 44 and level 45 now, so pretty obsessed. I want to tell you a bit about my Go Fest. And towards the end of the second day, I was getting a bit down because I really I'd had this goal about getting a hundo Groudon, and well, you couldn't really do that many Groudon raids on the second day, and we had done like 30 Rayquaza raids each, and neither of us had gotten a shiny. So I was a bit down, but it was good. It's good. You can't not have fun at Go Fest. It was amazing.
True.
And then 6 o'clock came and we did our lucky trade, and guess who got the lucky hundo Groudon? It was me, and I fell on the ground and I was just like lying on the ground, just in shock. It was amazing. Almost as good as when Britty got that hundo Shadow Larvitar when it wasn't even weather boosted. I'll never get over that. But yeah, just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that Kyle's hat came in time for the second day of Go Fest. See ya.
Did your hat come in time, Kyle?
It did. But my lack of sunscreen made the day not so great anyways. So
well, was your face spared at least?
Yeah, for the most part.
Oh, good. Well, the hat worked then. Good job. Good job. I am a little disappointed that we didn't get to hear any of the Go Fest Eve carols. I kind of would like to hear some of that. No, but congratulations on your catch. My goodness. Sounds like you had a good time. Yeah, who can not be excited for Go Fest? I mean, we've had reasons in the past, but even still, we've persevered and been very jazzed for Go Fest because it just means you get to play for 2 days.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's really cool. Yep. Well, thank you very much for your voicemail, Sketchy Emma. Appreciate it. And this next one, and our last voicemail rather, is from Kevin Red Bull.
Hey, Chris and Kyle. It's Kevin Red Bull.
Hello.
I just wanted to briefly talk about my GoFest global numbers. I ended up with the whole weekend, I got about 55 shinies. I got 2 Rayquazas and raids early in the morning on Sunday. I got a Snorlax out of a raid, and that was my only one, so I'm super happy I got the cowboy hat. Yeehaw.
Nice.
I got a couple Goomies. I got one out of a raid and one in the wild, so I'm super happy about that. I even got a Timber and Beldums. Like, GoFest Global had no problems. It had pretty good shiny rates. I didn't really hear anybody complain. Like, anybody that was out and putting in the effort got almost everything they wanted. I didn't get a Heracross, but I have one in the past, so it didn't break my heart. It was a great weekend. I got everybody, the whole group, all the friends, even the people that rarely play came out. It was nice. So I hope you guys had a fantastic GoFest. All your goals were achieved. Even if not, at least you had fun, because I know I did. Happy 250th episode, guys.
Thank
I just
you.
finished your episode prior to GoFest, and I wanted to just say congratulations. 250 episodes is a huge milestone for a podcast. And to just be a little old thing like Pokemon, it's so great to be a part of this, I'm glad we're all on this trip together. So, shiny vibes all. Let's get ready for Ultra Unlock. And,
That's right.
have a good day, guys.
Yeah, it's not over. We got Ultra Unlock. No, but, Kevin, the GoFest is a lot like Easter and Christmas for church-going people. Some people don't go all year, but they will always come out for GoFest, So it's great that you got the whole crew out, even the rare ones to show up. I hope that everybody had a good time and that they, caught all the Rayquazas they wanted to, because they were aplenty, if nothing else. Cool. And yeah, Kyle, congratulations on 250 episodes. It is 250. Are we doing anything special for it? Well, yes, of course. We're recording yet another wonderful episode of the GoCast podcast. But no, we're not doing anything super duper special because, well, we talked about it. We didn't know what to do. 300 will probably do something, but 250, it's halfway to 500 in my mind,
God. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see if Go is still around at that point, or if our planet is still around at that time. Who knows? But anyway, thank you very much, Kevin Red Bull, for the voicemail. Great to hear from you as always. But we have a few emails as well, Mr. Cobb. Would you like to kick us off here?
All right. Our first email is from Mythic, and they said, "Hey, Chris and Kyle, it's Mythic here. I want to write in about 2 things and ask your opinions on them. First, I want to talk about eggs. I might hurt Chris's feelings here. I don't like them. I feel like I'm not rewarded enough. As a free-to-play player, I can pretty much only hatch 1 egg at a time, and I've started to stray away from hatching them. Even though I've hatched many hundos, and I've hatched Pokemon like female Slandite on the first egg after it came out, I'm still against eggs. There is one thing that would change this for me, however: better Stardust. I am someone who spends Stardust almost as soon as I get it, a habit I will try to stop after Global GoFest. And eggs are not contributing to that. As you hatch more eggs during a week, you should progressively get more Stardust. Obviously, this would need to also be worked out to where 2-kilometer eggs give much less than 12-kilometer, but it would for sure get me to hatch more eggs. This is probably not a feature that will come to the game, but I thought I should show my concerns. Second thing I want to talk about was goals for GoFest. I actually bought a ticket this year for Global, and hopefully I'll be able to play the whole time this year. My goals are shiny and or hundo Rayquaza, lots of mega Rayquaza energy.
Like 7,000?
Like 7,000. 10 shinies at least. 250,000 Stardust. Enough Carbink XL for PvP. Hatch 10 eggs. And yes, just after ranting about how much I dislike eggs, I'll put an egg goal in there for Chris. You're welcome. Wishing you shiny luck, Mythic. That Carbink XL requires serious focus to do, but it can be done.
It does. There's so many people that were like hitting other people up outside of time zones and being like, "Hey, you guys got Carbink?"
Yeah.
You want to like send me some more carbink? I'm like, man, I wish I cared more about this because I feel like I'm missing out on something. But I had purple and pale purple blinders on for that entire day. So
I only got like 50 carbink XL candy. So that's not too good.
Well, they were also like spawned off of incense and stuff too, which is cool.
Yeah, they were actually not very easy to catch. I had several carbink run from me.
Let me see. My carbink XLK. I got 35. I haven't done a lot of transferring yet, but I only have 35. So, it's Tentacle Spotlight Hour. I think it's transfer candy right now. So,
yep. Let me quickly go hit my transfer button that I actually set up.
No,
the
first one I clicked on is tiny. We love that. Anyway, I'll put my phone down because we're recording a podcast. How rude of me.
But as for your proposal about the eggs, it's a weird and slightly problematic scenario because eggs are actually very, very lucrative when you do them. If you got 9 going and you hatch, let's say 9 mix of 7 and 10Ks, you're, sitting at between 40 and 60,000 Stardust, depending on your rolls with a star piece. The problem is, of course, you have to stack it appropriately. You have to have incubators. Yep. You have to be playing the game when you're hatching it so you can use a star piece, all stuff like that. And anything that you do to kind of enhance the experience from using less incubators is only going to widen the gap from people using 9 at all times.
Yeah, and I mean, there really is no good way to advise somebody who's on that one incubator grind to ever use a star piece because any individual singular catch is not going to be worth it, or hatch is not going to be worth it.
Yeah. There are probably ways to brainstorm about how to make it a better experience. I can't think of any right now, and none have actually occurred to me recently.
It would be cool if they had like a hatch streak where every 10 you get like a bonus Stardust bundle or something like that you could time. That'd be cool. And it would encourage people to stay engaged.
Sort of like the way that the scatter bug badges work.
Yeah, that would be good.
That I could get behind something like that. Someone hatching more eggs is going to get more rewards regardless. But
yeah.
Hatching eggs when you have 9 at a time feels good until you realize you just used your incubators. And then you're like, well, and like, I like hatching 9 eggs at a time. It's fun. Like, it is exciting to see, like, what am I going to get? I don't even care what I'm getting, but I'm excited for what I'm going to get.
I agree. And as an egg hatcher, I do sympathize with this for sure. And I cannot imagine how bad it feels on the single incubator grind. Like, there's no reason for you to stay motivated. I get it, especially if you're looking for Stardust and stuff. But it sounds like you have such a good luck history with eggs. Like, I'm a little jealous. Your first 12K was a female Salandit. Like, goodness. And you've gotten many hundos. My word. My absolute word. But thank you very much, Mythic, for the email. Appreciate it. Our next one is from Brian, and they said, "Good day, gents. I laughed when I heard your question." Oh, this is a Pokeball response. I put it in the wrong spot. My bad. I laughed when I heard your question because my wife would probably have multiple stories about me and Pokemon, but the one that sticks out is when my wife and I went on a cruise with a group of friends. We were sitting in our hotel lobby, and I had a lure going when we were waiting for our shuttle. That's when I noticed a Carnivine had spawned down the road. I looked at my watch and realized I had a little under 10 minutes and told my wife and friends I would be back as soon as I could. I sprinted out the door and down the street, through the parking lots of 3 other hotels, and into a beachside pool area at the hotel and onto the end of a pier, there to finally get it to spawn. I caught it and then quickly logged into my son's account and caught it for him. And I sprinted back to see the shuttle pulling up to the hotel and was getting a phone call from my wife as I entered the building with sweat running down my face. And now, after Global GoFest, I have 27 of them.
But you have the story, too.
You got the story. That's right. But it leads into my new struggle. My wife and her friends are on a, quote, girls trip, end quote, to Hawaii. And like any good wife, she asked if there were any souvenirs I would want. I asked her to open Pokemon Go daily to look to see if they could find the Hawaii exclusive Comfey. In preparation for her trip, I spent the last month trading her Pokemon that she needs to fill out her decks. while also trying to explain the nearby bar to her. On Friday night, while at dinner with her friends, the waitress saw my wife checking the Pokemon at the restaurant and asked her how long she'd been playing. After telling her the story, the waitress showed my wife the grayed out Comfey in the nearby bar, which my wife still didn't quite get yet, and said that it is in a park about 150 yards across the street. One of the ladies with my wife was also with us in Florida and asked my wife if she was going to go grab it. My wife replied, "I'm not my husband. I'm not chasing after a virtual game during dinner. Hopefully one spawns closer to her. The struggle is real."
Oh, no.
Sorry about the long email. Brian. Oh, no. Oh, woof. To be fair, I also understand her perspective.
Yeah, no.
Completely fair.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Uh-huh. I mean, they're on a girls' trip. I wouldn't want to leave the restaurant either. I'm hanging out, but man, that's funny. That's pretty
Hopefully
funny.
you get your Comfey.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But thank you very much for the email, Brian. Appreciate it. And that brings us to the end of the email section. If you'd like to send us an email just like these fine folks did, you can by sending it to mail@gocastpodcast.com. If you'd like to call in and leave a voicemail, you can also do so by calling 262-586-7717. You can also email me an audio file and we'll get it figured out. No worries there. Follow us on the platform formerly known as Twitter, but forever Twitter in my heart, @GoCast Podcast. If you'd like to help support us monetarily for as little as $1 a month to get access to the Discord server, you can via Patreon. That's patreon.com/GoCast Podcast. And big shout out to our Elite Trainer tier patrons. Thank you so much to Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin, and Mimi, Sforza, Rasui, Ryan, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Motters, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Steven, Nick, Kelvin, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob. I was so close. I'm still not at 100%, I guess. Victoria and Gaytan. Thank you very, very much for helping us keep the digital lights on with your generous support. We thank you a million times over. But if you'd like to help support the show without spending any money, you can do so by leaving us a review on anywhere that fine reviews are accepted. So anywhere besides Google Podcasts, I believe. Also, just as an aside, rest in peace, Stitcher. You did well.
Yeah.
You did well. Sorry to see you go, but little inside baseball. Sorry, Stitcher. Sorry, man. All right, cool. But before we go, Mr. Kyle, we have to set some goals. So what are you looking to do? This does cover Community Day Classic. I mean, it'll be Charmander, but we don't know for sure yet, but keep that in mind, I suppose. What are you thinking of doing?
I want to complete the classic research because I've done every single one since they've come out.
Okay.
I need to do some inventory cleaning. I am at 6,500 out of 6,800 and it is a problem.
Ooh. Okay.
I have so many legendaries I want to hold, but need to get rid of. I don't know what. I'm not aiming for anything. I'm just aiming for more space.
It's something. Right now, it's standing room only, and you'd like to get to a comfortable position.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then 250,000 experience. I've decided that if Charmander is 3 times experience, I will probably play it.
My man.
For the experience exclusively.
That's fine. Whatever rule you need, whatever reason, that's fine. That works.
And I think it is up for 3 times experience. I double checked. Lavatar was 3 ago and it was experience. And then we had Swinub and that was Stardust. And then we had Squirtle, which was hatch distance. So
we'll see patterns and all that.
Yeah, we all know how accurate those are.
I'm doing jazz hands if you're not watching the video version. Cool. Well, for myself, 30 shinies for Community Day Classic, whatever it happens to be. I'm overshooting that for sure, but we'll see. I also would like to clean out my inventory. I'm not making any commitments, and you can't make me to specific numbers. We'll see. 250,000 Stardust just by kind of playing, even if it's not the bonus, I should be able to do it. I've decided I'm going to start hoarding Stardust again. I'm at 6.5 million. I'd like to get to 10 million before I start really spending it on anything. And that my new Hundo Gumi is looking me in the eye, sadly, but I don't want to drop $500,000 on it. We'll see. I'll do that maybe a little bit later. And then hatch 50 eggs just to get myself walking and doing some other stuff. So there's that.
I had So I spent so much Stardust. Oh my god!
I bet you did. Leveling up the Hundo Rayquazas.
I took a Hundo Rayquaza to 50. I took the second one to 40, and then I leveled up the Groudon as much as I could. I didn't have enough XL candy.
Oh my gosh!
It was so much. I was at almost 5 million, and now I'm down to 3.8.
He's destitute. He's not going to make rent this month. Oh my gosh! Well, I mean, good to hear you got some new formidable Pokemon on your roster, though. That's always good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very excited to have it, and I am depending on what it looks like when Rayquaza comes back to raids. I got 100 Rare Candy XL that I may end up using on Rayquaza, so we'll see.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Well, we will see you all next week. Thank you so much for listening all the way through. For episode 251, it'll be our all hands seasonal update episode. So we'll see you there. Until then, shiny vibes and all that other good stuff. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.